Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and share the videos with your friends and loved ones. Once you see land on my page, click on the subscription button and you'll be added. You'll see any recent video that is posted instantly. In today's video, I'm going to take the subject basic science, and in this subject, we are going to look at the class grade 7. And then we'll look at the topic living and non-living things. Topic living and non-living things. Then our subtopic for today is identification and classification of matter. Identification and classification of matter. Let's start by looking at identification of matter. Now, what is matter? Matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. When you define matter, remember the two keywords mass and space. Mass is the amount of matter in an object, while space, particles of matter have spaces between them. The void or the empty vacuum occupied by matter, that is a space. Now, matter can be living or non-living things. Living things like lion, tree, bird, mushroom, spider, flowers, deer, fox, giraffe, fly, fish, frog. It can be non-living things like the cloud, pencil, bicycle. It can be table, chair, car, teddy, etc. Matter is made up of different materials which vary in sizes and shape, color, and composition. The sizes could be oval shape, could be circle, fair, pyramidal, could be color, different colors. So matter is made up of either pure substances or mixtures. Let's look at examples of matter: the chair, books, pens, pencils, rocks, decks, air, utensils, bottles, clothes, sand, water, food, sulfur, plants, animals, oxygen. Examples of non-matters. Apart from matters, we have substances that are not classified as matter. Examples: sound, time, energy, gravity, rainbow, heat, light. They are not regarded as matter because they do not have mass, they occupy space. Now let's look at the two key words in matter. Mass. Matter in an object. The mass of a body is a quantity of matter in a body. Particles of matter have spaces between them. So what is space? Space is the empty vacuum occupied by matter. Now let's look at the state of matter. Matter exists in three states, which are solid, liquid, and gases. Solid, liquid, and gases. Now let's look at them individually. What is solid? In solid, the molecules are very close to each other. They attract each other with great force. A solid is hard, rigid, and has definite shape and volume. Look at the picture. Solid is rigid, fixed shape, fixed volume, cannot be squashed. Examples of solid are chair, books, pencil, rocks. In liquid, the molecules are less closely packed. The attraction between the molecules in liquid is less as compared to that in solid. Molecules can move around freely, that is why liquid can easily flow. Liquid do not have fixed shape, it takes the shape of the container in which it is poured. No matter what shape a particular amount of liquid may take, its volume remains the same. A liquid has a definite volume but no definite shape. Thus, liquid have no fixed shape, have fixed volume, can flow. Liquid have rigid, no fixed shape, fixed volume, cannot be squashed. Examples of liquids include ink, water, milk. Gas. In gas, the molecules are separated by large empty spaces. They have a lot of freedom to move about. The molecules in gas move faster than the molecules in solid or in liquid. That is why gas has no definite shape or volume. The molecules in a gas are very loosely packed and gases can flow easily. Thus, gases have no fixed shape, have no fixed volume, fill the space of the vessel, flow more easily than liquid. So in this picture you can see it's rigid, no fixed shape, no fixed volume, can be squashed. Examples of gases are hydrogen, oxygen, air, etc. Now let's look at changes of states. Solid can melt to liquid, liquid can vaporize to gas, gas can condense to form liquid, liquid can freeze to form solid as in ice. Some solid can sublime to gas and gases to solid. So these are the changes that matter can undergo. In this picture, you can see a solid ice melting to liquid water and liquid water vaporizing to water vapor. Then the picture on the right, you can see changes of state. A solid being melting to liquid, liquid boiling to gas, gas depositing to solid, and equally a liquid can freeze to solid, and a solid can sublime to gas, and a gas can condense to liquid. Now let's classify matter. Classification of matter. Matter can be classified into element, compound, and mixtures. What is an element? An element is a substance made up of one type of atom. Look at the arrangement of particle diagram of an element. Examples of an element: pure gold. Example 2 here, oxygen gas. A compound has two or more type of atoms chemically bonded together. Example, look at the arrangement. Example, water, rust as in iron rust. Mixture. A mixture is a substance which is made up of two or more elements chemically combined together. Example A and C water. Now let's look at element. An element is a substance which cannot be split into simpler units by an ordinary chemical process. Elements are arranged on a table called periodic table, in vertical form called group, and in horizontal form called period. Hydrogen is placed on the middle here in this diagram because can't place it in group 1 or 7 because of these peculiar reactions it can undergo. This is the modern periodic table, and elements are arranged on a table called periodic table. Now, elements in the same group have the same number of atomos electrons. You can see all the elements in group 1 have 1 atomos electron. Element in group 2 have 2 atomos electron. And element in group 3 has 3 atomos electron, and so on and so forth. So we have the group, the vertical group, and the horizontal period. Now let's look at the building block of matter. What is the building block of matter called? The atoms are the building block of matter. Atoms is the smallest particle of an element that can take part in a chemical reaction. They are the building block of matter. The atoms is made up of protons and neutrons, which are found in the nucleus, and the electron revolving around the nucleus, just like the planet revolve around the sun. Now, atom composed of electron, proton, and neutron. Let's look at part of the atom. Proton is positive electrical charge, while electron has negative electrical charge. The nucleus is made up of protons and neutrons. Neutron is neutral, it doesn't have charge. Protons and neutrons are found in the nucleus of the atom. The atom also has shell. K shell has a maximum of 2 electrons. L shell has a maximum of 8 electrons. The nucleus is made up of protons and neutrons. Electron revolve around the nucleus. Now, if we are to calculate the mass number, the sum of the proton and neutron in the nucleus of an atom is called the mass number. You can also call it nucleon number. If the element is given as a symbol X, chemical symbol for the element X, then the mass number should be Z plus N, provided Z is the atomic number representing number of protons and N representing neutron number. So for you to have the mass number, you simply add the atomic number and the proton number and the neutron number. Now, what is a molecule? A molecule is the smallest unit of a substance that has all the property of that substance. The smallest particle of matter which can exist independently is called a molecule. Matter is made up of extremely small particles which are not visible to unaided eyes. These particles are called molecules. A molecule can further be broken down into smaller units called atoms. Now, what is a compound? A compound is a substance which contains 2 or more elements chemically combined together. Look at the water, a compound called water. It has 2 elements, oxygen and hydrogen. The compound called common salt, our cooking salt, sodium chloride, has 2 elements, sodium and chlorine. Then ammonia has 2 elements, nitrogen and hydrogen. Now let's look at examples of compounds. Compounds like limestone, sand, water, caustic soda, hard soap, washing soda. Now, one of these compounds is pure water. Let's look at the properties of pure water. Boil at 100 degrees Celsius and freeze at 0 degrees Celsius. It's colorless, odorless, and tasteless. So water is a clear, colorless, odorless, and tasteless liquid. A boiling point of 100 degrees Celsius, which is the same as 212 degrees Fahrenheit. melting point of 0 degrees Celsius, which is the same as 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Chemical formula of H2, average molar mass of 18.01528 gram per mole. Iopart name is water, or you can also call it oxidane. Density is 997 kilogram per meter cube. Now let's look at examples of compound like ethanol, sugar, common salt, calcium chloride, carbon 4 oxide. Now, what is a mixture? A mixture contains two or more constituents which can easily be separated by physical method. Mixtures can be elements or compounds. Mixtures can be separated by using a method called separation technique. You can see mixtures with this from this diagram with different colors. When it is separated, the different colors are selected. And let's look at examples of mixtures include the air, soy, urine, palm wine, Coca-Cola, milk, fruit salad, blood, brass, seawater, crude oil. All these are examples of mixture. Now we'll look at, as we say that mixtures can be separated using separation technique. So let's look at the various separation techniques that can be used to separate mixtures. Now the first one is called sieving. Sieving is used to separate solid of different sizes. The second one is called magnetization, used to separate magnetic solid from non-magnetic substances. You can use anything that is magnetic. You can use a magnet to separate them from those ones that are non-magnetic. Sublimation is used to separate solid which sublime from other solid. Examples of separation of ammonium chloride and sodium chloride. Decantation is used to separate insoluble solid from a liquid. You can see the sediments, you can see the partially clear water, the filtrate, and the residue is left inside the container. Now let's look at filtration is used to separate insoluble solid from a liquid. You can see the filtration process in the diagram. Centrifugation is used in hospital, used to separate insoluble solid from liquid. You can see blood plasma, the blood cells that when it is put in this spinner, they will be separated at the bottom of the test tube. Evaporation is used to separate soluble solid from a solution. You can see the setup. Solution of water and salt. Solution is heated to boiling point for the liquid to evaporate. Solid particles of salt remain after the evaporation. Now, crystallization is used to separate soluble solid from a solution. Evaporation is used to separate soluble solid from solution. Crystallization is used to separate soluble solid from solution also. Fractional crystallization is used to separate soluble solid from solution. You can see the fractionating column in this picture. Now, precipitation is used to separate soluble solid from solutions. You can see the precipitate, the supernatant liquid, the precipitate forming in the liquid. Distillation is used to separate solvent from a solution. We have what is called solute, solvent, and solution. So when we need solution, we use distillation apparatus. This is a apparatus set up for distillation. Fractional distillation is used to separate soluble solid from a solution. When you need a solid that are soluble, that dissolve in the solvent, you use fractional distillation. Now, using separating funnel, you use separating funnel used to separate two immiscible liquid, two liquid that cannot mix together like kerosene and water. You use separating funnel to separate such liquid. Now, let's look at chromatography. In chromatography, you use to separate solid from a solution. And when you need a solid, like in the case of ink, solvent fronts and the solvent, you use the chromatography to separate this.